If you enjoyed this video and want to support the channel, you can for $1 a month over on Patreon. Thank you.
Well, still sticking with Sega, which is okay. We're gonna talk about NFTs now. Any NFT balls come in the freaking comments or when I share this on Twitter. Sort off. Apparently, Sega registered the Sega NFT trademark back in December.
Yeah.
And it was a whole big
bitch fit.
I can't think of an adjective. I want to say bitch fit. I'm trying to avoid saying anything nasty for the first minute or so. But apparently in December 14, an investor Q&A, they said they were going to continue experimenting with NFTs to see if they would be used without drawing criticism or being perceived as using them for simply money making. They are a money making scam. They're going to be criticized for the end of time.
Exactly, yeah.
Again, this is from Sonic Stadium. Many have interpreted that the last quote is meant to say Sega was backing off NFTs, but that is not what Sega was actually telling investors. This trademark, which was registered weeks after the Q&A, shows Sega's continued interest.
I mean, the fact is, like you said, so we're a bit late to this, but yeah, basically the whole thing is saying they were going to do it, and the boss says, "Oh no, we're not going to do it because of all the, the backlash it's gotten." But seemingly they still have the patent, at least for it, unless they want to go back.
They said this is a registered trademark for it. They're looking into it. There's not exactly officially doing it right now, unlike say Activision, EA. They would fucking do that.
Yeah.
Or no, Ubisoft. I got to pick up Ubisoft as well because they said, I quote, "We just don't understand it."
Yeah, God.
This is the equivalent of fucking Blizzard telling people, "Don't you have phones when you unveil Diablo Immortal?"
Yeah.
Go and fuck yourself, Ubisoft investors. Ubisoft reports.
Well, it's funny because since then, basically, a lot of people have just been jumping off the Ubisoft ship anyway. So yeah, they're saying we're going to do this, and right, I'm going to head off now. So that seems to be the attitude.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Because any investor out there, I guarantee, it doesn't matter if you're trying to be good-hearted. As soon as you hear it makes money, you don't hear anything else. It's the same as other corporations where they hear the word lawsuit. Doesn't matter if it was may consider suing you, giving a lawsuit, or doing this. As soon as they hear lawsuit, they want to get rid of anyone who's fucking there throw in front of the fucking boss. We want nothing to do with these people. There you go, have at it. Anything to avoid any criticism whatsoever. But as long as they can keep that fucking money, they're going to go for it and fuck the planet as well. Even though that's exactly what you're doing. You're fucking the planet with these NFTs.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is another thing. In fact, when this whole business kicked off, I mean, again, I remember there was a thing going around, people saying, Robotnik's finally won. It was like, what the hell's going on? Because again, in order for these to exist, they need, processing power. There's a lot more power to do it. So they are literally taking up more energy than they're supposed to do. So that's where that's coming from. In fact, Sonic Stadium did a whole huge read up about like how it's meant to work and the whole effect of it. So probably put that in the links for this video as well.
Yeah, I'll send you a link to a Twitter thread and as such, and also a video explaining what the hell these NFTs even are. And I need to go to my my Twitter because here we go. This is my basic understanding on NFTs, okay? So anyone who knows better than me, quote me if I'm wrong, okay? But apparently, they have artificial value. That can just vanish off the face of the fucking earth.
Yeah, I mean, the reason it's called NFTs is because it stands for non-fundable tokens. I mean, it literally is basically saying this is worth nothing unless we decide it does.
Yeah, it's pretty much me taking a shit and saying, that is worth gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's artificial value because even then, if an artist wants to get into NFTs to actually make money themselves, which honestly, why wouldn't you? No one's going to buy it. No one's going to see the worth of it. You can say it's probably worth 5 Ethereum, which I'm not too sure what the exchange rate is on that.
Yeah, exactly.
And on top of all that, the actual value of it can actually fluctuate. And so if an artist wants to actually gain money from this, they'll have to spend their own fucking money to actually say, oh yeah, this drawing I did of a boob, that's worth $5,000 because you bought it yourself using a empty account and this an anonymous account.
Yeah.
And because it's sold for 5,000, it's now worth 5,000. So people will say, oh, I want to get this. It seems really valuable, even though it isn't. It's an artificial value. There's nothing to it.
Yeah.
And it's not saying you own this image. It's not saying like good example. Those Archie versus Fleetway posters at Summer of Sonic 2014.
Yeah. Those things.
Yeah, you could very easily right-click, save as, you have that image.
Mm-hmm.
But it's even better to physically own it.
Mm.
I can write on a post-it note a stick figure saying I love trousers or I love pants, and it'd be worth more than a JPEG on your fucking Ethereum catalog.
Exactly. Yeah.
And speaking of it seems valuable, it's manufactured hype as well to make it seem like a good investment. Because the only people just hyping it up are those who already invested into it and put money into this freaking scheme. There's nothing to even be hyped about. Oh, what is this? It's a receipt saying you own this thing.
Mm.
It's no better than going to Subway, buying a sandwich and holding a receipt to say you bought the sandwich, but you don't eat the sandwich.
Yeah.
You haven't got the sandwich, you just got a receipt for it. You're saying, oh, that's my sandwich.
Yeah, actually.
But you don't have it.
I was going to say, one example I can give you, it's like owning a Ferrari, and yet basically you never actually have it, as in you own the car, but they keep it in the garage, and you can take it out on their tracks and only their tracks, but you can't take it home. You know, that is the thing.
Not specifically, because at least then it would be something. At least the sandwich would be something. It's there. You
I know,
can see
it's
it.
something.
This is just a receipt saying it's a receipt with a link to a image file that can disappear when the servers go down at any moment. It could be an EMP wiping out all these processors that are wasting a major amount of energy just to hold this single token or many tokens, millions of tokens on the internet, and the server can be wiped out like that. Oh no, the $2 million you spent on a monkey smoking a cigar with googly eyes is gone. And furthermore, it's always just fucking monkeys every time. It's a freaking monkey. It's like, oh, this is my monkey. It's like, oh, congratulations. You made one slight difference than the millions of others on the internet designed by an algorithm.
Oh, God. Yeah.
That's what it is. It's an algorithm. Oh, it's an ape with a cigar. Oh, but next one. It's an ape with a cigar, but the cigar is blue.
So basically, the algorithm is basically taking. I mean, to put it this way, there was a thing on the South Park website.
The algorithm detects a slight difference in it, then it's a completely new image. Like, fair enough. In Sonic Forces, you can have a completely different. The basic avatar, what you start with, the wolf with red fur, yellow eyes, and that's it.
Yeah.
But if you change the eyes to blue, it's a different character.
Yeah, I was just going to say the example is South Park used to have like a character avatar creator. Like literally, you could just create things from the list of things. So again, that's like if you just press random on it and it'll just generate its own thing every now and again. And it's like once you're done, you could you could save it, right click save, and you got it. So apparently they're just trying to make that now. Just like now you're going to spend money on this shit that you don't really fucking have.
Yeah, and on websites like OpenSea. I've tried going on there looking for anything on mine on there, anything originally mine on there. I couldn't find a fucking thing. And even then, it's exploited by scammers. Everyone's artwork is free to grab. Right click, save as, upload. This is worth Ethereum now.
Yeah, I mean, the thing was, I remember when this came out, I mean, initially, and again, this is like when it first started to come out of the ether, what this weird, strange thing was. It's like, I initially thought it might have been a good thing for like maybe independent artists. It's like, i.e., this is the way you can stop people nicking your things and getting money off it.
We first hear about it, it could be like, yeah, you want this image to own like an adoptable or a commission, like, here you go, here's something, you pay for this, and there you go, you own it. But it's not. You don't own it, you just own a link. At least compared to other commissions I've done, all the other commissions I've done, you know what? It's theirs.
Yeah.
I was told, hey, could you draw these two characters at these poses with these kind of colors? Hi, here you go. Okay, good. Could you alter this? Okay, here you go. Done. Fantastic. You know what? It's theirs now. I ain't fucking touching that commission. Yeah, I have the PSD files. I have the sci files. I have the original PNG. But it's their freaking commission that they paid for. That's an exchange of goods. It's theirs. Yeah, I mean, that's an original content.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I know two artists who I did a comic a while back, and I literally commissioned them just like, could you do me a two-page A3 panel thing, whatever. And like I said, I even asked them, can I have the original drawing? So, and again, they did it, they made it, but I asked them, could I own it? I'll pay for it, whatever. And like I said, I now own that thing that I asked them to do for me.
Like, you go on OpenSea and you see a bunch of other artists work on there, even copyrighted images. There is so much Sonic the Hedgehog art. Even official renders from Sega's website is on OpenSea, and they're worth Ethereum to these people. So it's like, you don't own this. Everything you buy on these fucking websites, you do not own.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like, I'm the only one who owns this. Right click, save as, go fuck yourself.
I know. I mean, this is, again, my only problem is that basically, is this just a way to basically stop people? Is this just now an incentive way of thinking, how do we make that more of a ball ache for people who want to do that? And it's like, well, if we do it this way, that means we can get some quid off it. So, and again, it's just...
There's apparently there's a lot of scammers right now. I think a couple of them actually just... I can't remember what I name. Apparently, one of them just took $3.7 million and just disappeared.
Ugh, no wonder why.
There have been plenty of crypto scammers out there taking everyone's innocent people's money, and just fucking off.
Yeah, I mean, this is, again, it's scamming, it's pyramid schemes. I mean, the thing I keep coming back to in my head is like, it's like in the early web days when people suddenly were trying to make money off the internet through websites and whatever. And of course, there was a massive crash because everybody was trying to do it. Means there was no way of making money off this shit, so it all just went down the toilet.
I can't remember. Somebody mentioned that like everyone need like the late 90s, early 2000s. Everyone really needed a domain name. Exactly, everyone wanted to get on that website. The early Silicon Valley thing. I can't remember what the fuck it's called. Exactly. Somebody bring out the name because there was a name for it.
Yeah. It was basically the rise of like, tech people, like early web designers and all that crap. And of course, it was like so much of it, it all just got too much and nobody could make money off it. So it just all died off.
Yeah, it just got a bunch of domain. It's hard to say domain names.
Yeah. Just basically
wasted. Just absolutely wasted.
Yeah. Just basically registered website names they could use and then make money. And that was the whole thing. And of course, too much, not enough to go around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And right now, I want the whole system to go die in a fire.
Yeah.
Just burn it all up.
Yeah. Well, if you could probably tell from my voice, I'm not sounding very enthusiastic or joking today, is because as of recording this, one other company that I follow for my namesake is apparently Team 17 have been interested in doing it. In fact, they've just announced they're doing a special worm thing for the metaverse thing. Facebook's own like online.
Which can also go die in a fire.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm gonna be at this point. Okay, from my namesake, obviously you can guess I'm a fan of worms. I'm a fan of Team 17 as well, and you can probably guess I'm not a fan of this decision. But the thing is, I was just on, for instance, I was on the Discord. In fact, I was on the driver discourse earlier, and somebody told me about this, and I just went, "Oh God, what is this?" And then I went to the official Team 17 one, and the chat was just absolute thunderbolt of just people just saying, "What the hell is it? What's going on? What's it? No, are you all crazy? You're off your head." And of course, like the community manager's like, "Look, I don't." In fact, apparently the news parents, like some of the members of Team 17, like, we just found out today this thing exists, and yeah, we don't know what the fuck's going on either. And like I said, they're trying to calm people down and say, look, we don't know. We don't know how it's working and whatever it's doing. So it's like, it's becoming like literally a storm fire. In fact, I was just watching Jim Sterling's thing about, of all things, editorial doing NFTs as loot boxes. So you can guess how he felt about that crap. And then immediately he put it, and I thought like, wow, he didn't mention T17. And of course, went on Twitter and immediately said, oh, they're doing it. Yeah, fuck them all to hell. And
every single video game company now is trying to get on the NFT bandwagon to actually earn some kind of money there.
Yeah.
Like I said, you can say it's worth something. They'll get the Ethereum, they'll do the exchange rate, put it in their bank account, and consider it's a blockchain, it's just a line of code. There's no trace on it.
Yeah.
There's no trace. It's like all of a sudden, it's like, where did the $3,000 go? I don't fucking know.
Yeah, and the thing that's really been racking my brain about this whole thing, especially Team 17, is like, they don't need the money. I mean, weirdly enough, you can Google them and check out this. They actually put themselves in the stock market a while ago, and they've been doing incredibly well. In fact, I've been following them for ages, and recently they've become this like indie gaming darling. They've been publishing games. They made Overcooked become this massive success. All the
Oh
small
yeah, they're like Devolver Digital now. They're like the British.
exactly. Yeah, I mean,
They're
yeah.
like
I mean, they've been doing it. Yeah, and the thing is, they're still independent.
where is Devolver
And that's the
Digital?
thing. They are the most successful independent company probably in the UK, if not arguably the world. And maybe that's an exaggeration, but yeah, they have done.
Yeah, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have ukulele on consoles.
Exactly. Yeah, they help get.
Which is not exactly the silver lining it make it sound, but let's face it.
Yeah, and again, it's like that's the thing. They've been picking up games, are interesting or unique, whatever. That is what they've been doing. That's what they initially started off doing. In fact, one of the reasons why they ended up just making Worms games for a long time is because it was so successful. The publishers weren't interested in like, oh, we got this other game. It's like, no, we want another Worms game. We got a spin-off idea or one-off, so they just got stuck in a rock.
Okay, to actually back up my statement from earlier, Team 17 is the UK version of Devolver Digital. Because Devolver is based in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, Team 17 is based in Wakefield, which is, two sides of the world, for God's sake. But yeah, they were viewed, and it was only until when Xbox Arcade, PlayStation Network, literally the age of streaming gaming and downloadable game stuff, they were able to do things like Alien Breed. They brought back the Alien Breed series in episodic format, put obviously Worms on there, and then started getting other games. So like I said, they've just been on this upward projection all these years. And now this coming out here, I mean, the big thing they've done is that they've done like a special worm thing. It's this weird glitter painted thing with a cyberpunk arm and stuff. And I remember when I saw it, I just thought to myself, this has to be a joke. This has to be a joke. In fact, the weird thing is Team 17 are known for pulling stuff like this off as a gag. They used to do like April Fool's jokes of saying, oh yeah, we're going to put Worms up again on the Commodore 64. We've got a cassette for it. Or we're making a dating simulation through Worms Revolution or something like that. And actually one of the great recent ones, they did this whole thing where they apparently found there was a Worms teletext game. Apparently this was a thing that was so rare, but we got these screenshots. Of course, it's a joke. It's made up. It never existed. But they do this each time as like a funny thing. And that's what I was saying. It's like, I want to believe this is a joke. And what they even showed off with this thing, with this worm, it's like, this has to be a gag. This is one. If this was any other day, if this was in April, it'd be a joke. It's just like, hey, here's this really stupid thing. We're doing as a pretend NFT, but of course it's not real. And I don't know why they're doing it. That's
because it's just making money for the company. That's all.
I know.
And that's all the CEOs and investors care about. Any community members, any developers, designers, they don't get a say in any of this. They can go all over these people saying, "Don't do this," because the internet, the entire internet, save for a few million people who seem to be really in on this thing for some reason, are saying, "Don't do it," because you are going to get ostracized so hard you'll fly off the fucking planet.
I know. And like I said, it's the fact that, as I said, when I went online, when I went on Twitter, when I went on the Discord channel, just the stream of people just saying, well, I'm never doing this again, fuck this, and screw you to hell and stuff. It's just like, again, I know the argument is that we just assumed, if you watch Tim Sterling, you just assume every video game company is the worst thing ever. They're all either money-sorting weirdos who just want to do, who are all sex offenders or punishing people all the time. It's always that. It's always the attitude that everything is terrible and awful and all that stuff. And again, that's his job, all right? His job is to point out this awful stuff in the hope that maybe some shit may change. And then on the back end, it's always thinking, well, at least the other folks are not those monsters. And like I said, I always thought Team 17 is, they're one of the good people. They're one of the people who actually do the right fucking thing. And again, there's always that down my head in the back is like, they could slip up. They could get into trouble and whatever, but it's like they never get to the level of Activision or EA. They're not that level of monstrous, all right? And like I said,
as far as monsters go, Ubisoft's still number one. Well, Konami is number one, but who gives a shit?
Well, again, it becomes like who can be the biggest cretin on the planet at the minute. It seems to go up and down with them a lot. But like I said, things like Team 17, they were on the right side in that sense. And I know it sounds ridiculous talking about the moral implication, but it's like, that's what annoys me more. That's what generally annoys me more. Is like, you have these hopes for like, okay, they're the monsters, but I know where the good guys are. And like with them doing this, it's like, again, we don't know the people who make these decisions, all right? They're like the business people. They're like the men in suits we never hear from, we don't know about, aside from Bobby Kotick, who, we know who he is and what he's like, but it's like most of them, we never know. We never fucking see them, right? So I don't know what the true agenda is with this. And especially doing with Worms, because the weird thing is, of course, is like they're saying it as well as like merchandising, which, again, Worms is a popular series. They've done merchandise. I've got like a big plushie thing, which they did a few years ago. In fact, they did, when I went there once, they had a bunch of them. So it's like they have done it. They've done if it's the case of making more money from merchandise, it's like, why not no T-shirts? Why not? Again, I don't understand this myself, but there has to be better ways.
Here's an idea. It's an NFT. You know, it's an actual picture that you can pay for, and we'll mail it to you. I mean, we can't give you the glittery fucking thing, but you know what? Here's a picture of the glittery fucking thing for you to hold in your hand.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like if they want to do artwork, I mean, I would gladly put it this way: like if they were selling off like artwork from the earlier games, like here's a print of the concept art from Worms 4 or something like that. If they did things like that, I can see that. I don't know how much money you can make off it. Again, I'm not a businessman, but it's like at least that makes some sort of sense, at least in that aspect. But yeah, like I said, it just really. And again, I'm not trying to be Mr. Angry, Mr. Terrible, because again, it's like you've got enough people on the internet doing that for you. And like I said, it's that annoying thing. I'm not angry. I'm disappointed. And like I said, I think throughout this whole experience, I just felt like I wish this was a joke. I wish this was an April Fool's gag, because this doesn't seem. Again, I don't know what the end result of this is going to be, because again, it's still hot, it's still going on. We don't know whether they're going to backtrack it or do something else. They have apparently probably saying they're not putting NFTs in their games. At least they're not going to put them like shit like that, at least in them. But I don't know the intent behind this, or at least what they're really going to do aside from whatever this one-off worm thing they've done. Unless there's going to be more for it, or they're going to do, I don't know, a game for the metaverse, because they did a Worms game for Facebook, but that sort of dissipated a while back off. So again, I don't know. That's the thing. It's like if they go down this route and he doesn't do anything, it's like, what was the point? What was the point? And even then, they're saying this is like environmentally friendly. And I know this guy called Dave, Badly Mechanic. He does a lot of Sonic video stuff, and he's mentioned, and I've asked him before, like, how this works, and he said there isn't an environmentally friendly way of doing this unless they're planning one. But it's like there isn't one. It doesn't do anything. It's damaging the environment, as they say. So I don't know the true intent behind this, and that's what's generally upsetting me most, because it just feels like they're doing this just to get in the line of fire. And like I said, the thing is like, again, at the end of the day, it's their decision. We can't change it. We can't do anything about them. They're going to do what they do. But like I said, it just feels annoying, especially for those who only found about this themselves, and they're like, yeah, we don't know either, and we're getting the shit thrown at us for we're monsters. It's like, we didn't know. And that's what I hate the most, is when people in the fire get hit by this crap.
Yeah, it's always the first line of defense for these CEOs.
Yeah, and again, it's like it's easy because there's a target, right? It's like basically who's responsible for this. You find the name, you point the target at them. That's what it is. And then anybody associated with it, you just assume, well, get all of them because they're all bastards or anything like that. And like I said, there's always going to be the few who are like, I just do my job. I just go in, do the thing. I've got nothing to do with whatever the bullshit they're doing. That's it. It's one of those unfortunate things.
Yeah, so hopefully this whole scam crypto thing can all go down in a fire, that we don't have to hear about it again. And now, hey, we can actually live to another several thousand years rather than several hundred.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the world's already in a shitty place already. It's like between this and just whatever's going on, it's like, guys, can we do better than just try to, be angry?
Can we actually get forward and move on and be safer and not focus on all the shit stuff for 5 fucking minutes?
Mm.
Sorry, I had to.
Yeah.